Alright, welcome back to the Wyll solo run. A very quick brush up of the rules here. This is going to be approximately a 2-hour stream, I hope. I'm playing the origin character, Wyll, with slightly changed stats from the character creation process. Outside of that, it's more or less untouched. He is playing with the fiend background, which is part of, or the not fiend background, but the fiend subclass from the character creation, which is the baseline for Wyll. Moreover, he has the pact of the tome, a pact that I've chosen for him because what I'm going to focus on in the character run or the origin run is the haste spell and the mechanics that that comes from that spell. Wyll is a no consumables origin run. That means that I don't drink any potions or elixirs or consume any scrolls in the process, and that's the baseline. It also means no baromancy. There is a small exception. If a consumable is something that is intrinsic to Origin's characters and his story arc, I am going to allow it. For instance, the elixir from Act 2 from the drow inside the Moonrise Towers, which is going to give Wyll proficiency in all stats until long rest, for instance. That type of thing is something that I am allowing because it's part of his character and what he gets from just being Wyll. So he has upsides and downsides outside of his origin bonuses and origin penalties. But that's it, no consumables. Yeah, quest items. For instance, basic poison can be used to poison barrels if that's what I want, that kind of thing. So quest items, things that give XP and execute things that are relevant to the story in a way. Also, throwing grease on the statue in the crash to get to Blood of Lathander as well is also something that I allow, and I also allow the disarm and thieves tools, but nothing combat related other than that. All right, so to pick up from where we ended things last time, I had just gone to the Grimforge to help out the gnomes that have been held captive there, and I killed Nier with the help of the rebel dwarves, the rebel dwarves, and we almost got to level level 5 in the process, which means that today the idea is that I want to get to level 5, and then I want to scoop up as much experience as possible, and then probably execute on the goblin tiefling conflict, and do the goblin raid on the grove, and probably but before that fighting Kagha and the shadow druids as well, in that order, of course. Getting to level 5 is number 1, and then it's going to be a cleanup job, Kagha, and then afterwards Minthara at the gates. So right now in the Underdark, it's not going to be possible for me to really do anything else at the moment. I went to the Kuatoa and it took that free experience points that you get down there by talking your way out of the situation. And I didn't go and collect a lot of there's a lot of free experience that you can get from. I could go just real quickly and get the 40 XP from the missing turret here, but outside of that, I am going to need to scavenge a little bit and claw to get the remaining. I think it's 300 or something, 200 experience points. Because I was considering, when you do these kinds of runs, you can kind of you can, I mean, you can get a lot of experience points in the early game by engaging with various situations without endangering yourself really. And I wanted to see how much of the game, like proper, that I could do. That was the 40 XP that I was missing. I think I've already killed this one. Killing the turrets after they're helpless is pretty nice. To see how much I could do and how much I could succeed with doing without actually endangering myself, but also without cheesing things. So for instance, yeah, I want to go and rescue the dwarf as well. So that's a bit of XP that I can get without too much hassle, hopefully. This can be done by recruiting gluts, which I'm not going to do. I mean, you can recruiting glut and using him for solving the Underdark to get XP is, I think, very very good idea, particularly if you struggle a little bit with getting that experience that you need to get to level 5. But for the sake of this run, I'm not going to engage him. But that can easily be done. So I'm going to ignore him, but that also means that when you go down to collect or go down and solve this little quest down here, you need to do something else. If you have Glut with you, he's made out of mushroom or whatever, he's going to be able to go through the forest of Bibberbanks without triggering any of them. And that's smart, because then you can basically go and you can remove the torch down there. I'm just going to explain what goes on down there when I get there. But you can use them for so many cool things down there. And I think there's actually a secret item that I never ever picked up that's also down there. So that's actually pretty interesting. I want to go and take a look at that. But when you don't have the assistance of Glut, you can do a number of things. You can for one, you can move closer to, you can move like a little bit closer to these. You can move in between them, but I actually prefer to do something else. So what I prefer to do is, you can also Misty Step, but Baelen is presently here. His bag is here. This little torch is what sets everything off. So the second that the green fumes cover the room, they're going to explode immediately from the fire from the torch. So you can, Baelen is going to die from the poison damage from the Bibberbank if these go off. They're going to set each other off, and Baelen is going to die. So it doesn't matter if the fire is there or if the fire is not there. The only thing that the fire and the torch really does is that if this goes off, then let's see if we can find it, then the Noble Stalk is going to go off. I don't need the Noble Stalk in my personal playthrough, but like, it's just to say that if things explode down here for whatever reason, the Noble Stalk also explodes. So that's a consideration. I like to go to this space up here with a jump spell and just collect the torch, and also move the bag, because you can move the bag like so. You can loot it, you can pick it up, you can do whatever you like, but I like to actually just move it to not get too close to these Bibberbang. And then you can kind of jump into the middle. You can talk to Baelen, and he's going to be happy, take the scroll from the bag, and then he's going to go out. And that's my preferred way of doing it, but you can do it in a number of ways. So I'm just going to proceed with that. So I'm going to cast the jump from the jump ring, and I can jump very far thanks to the Hill Giant Strength club that I collected. So quickly in and out. And then here's Baelen's backpack. And so we can just move it like so. and he should collect it. Whoop. And then he says, oh, I'm alright. Then he missteps out. And then we need to jump to him first before we do anything else. And then have the dialogue with him. But he's going to move. He's going to give a bit of XP, and then he's moving. And then I'm going to jump in here, getting an inspiration point, which I'm not quite sure if I was capped out, but that's not too important. And then while collecting the noble stalk, it seems like it's very difficult to not set off the fumes at this point. So I tend to just set it off and get out of dodge as quick as possible. Right. So that gives me a little bit of XP to get to that level 5 target. So going back to the Myconid camp just to see, just going to turn in the quest, and then I'm going to go to, I think, to the crash region site and maybe just, you know, kill the easy targets that I didn't kill just yet. To get to that level 5. I think that's going to be possible. It's not that much that I'm missing at this point. Alright, Dareth. Hand us the XP. Right, so we're going to show her the noble stalk, and we're going to give it to her. I think you can give it to both her and her husband. I think that no matter what, you get 60 XP. I'm pretty certain that you get that either way. Alright, so now that's done, I'm going to hop up to the Blighted Village. Because there are a couple of things that I tend to skip. I tend to skip the bugbear up here because it's not a lot of XP and it's actually pretty dangerous under some circumstances. I skip the ogre up here, which is already also too dangerous for me at level 4. I'm not going to attempt that. I skip the hyenas here. I wait with those. There is something about that you can kill the fist up here actually for XP, and it shouldn't be that dangerous. I just don't have any experience with that particular, so I prefer to do other things. Good. And being level 4, I can also go into the grove and kill the bugbear up here. That should be fine. That's 75 XP. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm going to go and kill this bugbear. This could be one hell of a fight. I hate to say it. It can be. Generally, any early game fights before level 5 are just exciting. I mean, it's fun and exciting, and you should definitely just do it just for the fun of it. I'm just going to stay here to take his javelins. And then I'm going to hop to the grove. I do have a couple of things going for me, so I could in principle take on some more difficult encounters. This is not my intention with this run to push the envelope on what you can and can't do at level 4, because there are some very strong things. For instance, the Cloud of Daggers can easily help me out with a number of encounters, which if I don't get to level 5, I'm going to go and take on one encounter where the Cloud of Daggers basically solves the whole thing for me. I need to go down here anyway. The problem is that the inspiration point token is already at max, and you get an inspiration as a folk hero to go down there. See, that was annoying. And even if it's surprise, it still gets turned before me because the initiative is a shit show. So going to push me now, I think. No? Okay. So I'm going to take an attack of opportunity. Otherwise, I'm never going to hit anything. Not going to either way. There we go. I mean, even this bugbear, like, the potential is just awful. Awful. In these small skirmishes here. Hi, Monkey, and everyone else. Good morning, good evening, in whatever part of the world you are currently in. In Denmark, it is early morning. I just went with my daughter to kindergarten, so now I hopefully can play for a couple of hours while everybody else sleeps. I hope. I'm doing a no consumables run here with Wyll, where the idea is to see how far can he get without dying. And I managed to I died to Oren on my last run, but I actually managed to kill her in dishonor mode, so I think I should be Gucci. Late night on the west coast. Okay. Cool. Alright. What do I need for level 5? 15 experience points. Okay, let's go and do the goblin encounter down here. As long as you have access to those certain damage spells, the problem is the attack rolls that miss in the early game, right? Then you're good to go. But I have a couple of options if I wanted to be absolutely sure to hit things here, but I should be okay. I should be okay. So when you get into this, make sure you crouch past the guardian statue. So all right. And the second that you, as far as unless somebody else knows differently, as far as my experience is that the second that I enter the underground passage, Findal is basically on a kind of a, he can die if you don't execute, or if you don't kind of resolve this. If I leave this, then I'm kind of worried that this guy can die. And normally I wait with this specific encounter because I don't want to take the inspiration point from Wyll in this case, but right now I don't care. Let's just send track a worm to his death. There is the level up. Oh, they don't care. Let me just do the level up then. Alright, and for the spells at this point, Hunger of Hadar is very, very good for the Warlock at this point in time. I don't want to change any of these spells currently. I use all of them. So that means that I don't have the Fireball, for instance, which I would normally love to have, but like I think I can do without. I don't need it for any of the stuff that I need to do. For the Eldritch Invocation at this point, I'm going to go with the Armor of Shadows. That gives me the Mage Armor, which is a free, for the Warlock, a free spell with the Invocation, putting me to 17 AC, which is still ridiculous, but it is, it's better than 14. Alright, let's go and see. And now already the power of the Warlock is kicking off here at level 5. It's ridiculous. And for anybody who thinks it's weird that I'm talking about something that I guess everybody here knows very well, it's because it's part of a kind of a video sequence that I hope to put on my YouTube channel. So that's why I talk about really basic stuff here. But also it gives you guys a chance to just, if there's something that you think that I've misunderstood or something else, feel free to let me know so that I can improve on anything in the game that I didn't think about. Feel free to backseat, essentially. Right, so this is another case where I don't use consumables for the run, but what I do is I allow for something that gives XP or is part of kind of a quest. And there's always a potion hidden up in one of these boxes. And I'm going to use that to get... I actually don't even need to do that, because I have the necklace from the Underdark. But I would have allowed that in my rule set here. Oh, it's a long rest resource, which was already spent, so not going to long rest for that. See if we can find it. I forget where it is. There it is. And after resolving the underground passage, going to go and get Zaza out of the grove is a possibility, but I have to be honest, I don't see the point. I mean, it doesn't give me any XP as far as I know, and she probably shows up in Act 2, but what you can do is you can go now to, this leads all the way back to the prison in the grove, and then I can go and escort Zaza out of there. And of course not letting her go all the way to the Goblin Camp, because I'm going to slaughter the Goblin Camp. Then she's going to kind of, be idle on the halfway, and to my knowledge, that means she's going to spawn in Act 2. I don't know for sure, but it's not of any dire importance to me anyway. Okay, so at level 5 now, I'm just going to rush things a little bit. Going to hop to the Blighted Village. And then I'm going to go to fight the mud mephits down here. I prefer to do this at level 5, following the mantra that the idea is to get through the game. And so going to the mud mephits at level 5 is just a great level. I could have gone with a fireball. That would have increased my potential down there because of all of the fire weakness, but nonetheless, I think I'll be fine with Hunger of Hadar for whatever purpose, and then the Eldritch Blast for the rest. Oh, I forgot that I am using these powers. I'm not skipping the illithid powers here. That was unintentional. Probably it's possible to do this even without the illithid powers, but not right now. Okay, casting. Rebuffing a couple of spells here. And so one of the ideas for this run is that I piggyback off of the haste spell quite a lot. It is dangerous to use at this point, because even with 16 constitution, this is a very poor saving throw, and I will get into trouble if I become lethargic. So at this point, I'm not going to use this. I could have gone and summoned a skeleton or something else to help me out, which probably is a good idea, but I think generally the power is just so high that it's unnecessary at this point. I'm just going to summon Shovel. I am going to lock with the firearms this, because I do want to remove some of the ancient mod mephits ASAP. With bad rolls, this can get a little bit hairy. It is also possible to jump to this spot and fight them from there, which probably I should do, just to try that bit out. See you, monkey. Thanks for the raid. Oh yeah, so that doesn't happen. Okay then. Should have jumped. Okay. Okay. So jumping up here. Problem is that I cannot jump up here without executing my jump spell, which is a bonus action, and losing my ability to get up there again. So I'm just going to go with one of the newfound spells from the Pact of the Tome, which is the free long rest called lightning spell that I can use once per long rest. But the damage potential is very high, so I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do with that. 15 damage. And then we'll cast the jump spell as a bonus action. So not quite sure how big the explosion from these guys is. So we'll have to see. But what I want to try is this. The force damage from the explosion from these guys is just insane, potentially. See if we can't. I wanted to shock this guy with my cold lightning, but let me just see what the cast range is. I jump up here. I'm just going to try to jump up here. I'm just take a couple of attacks. Wow. And now I can't move because I'm muddied. Wow. Look at that. Right, I still have my Misty Step. If I go here with the Misty Step, then I'm going to be facing Woodwards anyway in a moment. So I could just Misty Step up here and just see what happens. And then I cannot hit. I can hit the one guy, which I will. think the damage average potential between the Core Lightning and the Eldritch Blast is probably approximately the same at this point with my charisma score. Critical hit. So we do have kind of a standoff here, which is not something that I'm complaining about one bit. Am I entangled? Can't move. Okay. Can Misty Step out of this? Probably I'm going to cast a spell here. Destroying one of them is obviously better. Still entangled for no reason. Okay. Just taking a hit here. Yes. Oh no. Okay, I'm just going to take an attack of opportunity because it's always interesting to see if they do hit, how much damage do they do. And the damage on these guys is nothing to sneeze at. And if they crit, that's just, it's a lot of damage, easily. So I'm going to just Eldritch Blast him at this point. I think, do I want to? I need to get him out of the healing vines here if I can. Okay, there we go. So the regeneration from the wood bolts only seem to work if he's actually inside of the entangled area. So for that reason, I just want to make sure that he doesn't stay there if I can. Okay, there we go. At level 5, everything becomes dramatically easier in this game for a lot of classes. And the warlock is no exception. Hello, Kagha. Smoking gun acquired. Let's go and confront her. Is there anything else I need my inspiration points for? I don't think that there is at this point, if I remember correctly. I don't think that there is. Alright, so I'm going to go and do the encounter by the harpies, and then let's quickly see. Because by fighting the harpies and saving Murkon, I actually get an inspiration point for saving Murkon, but I don't need it currently. But at the same time, I want to finish the Kagha thing, and I need to do that, I think, before. I probably actually can go and do the Kagha thing before I do the other thing. which at this point is not probably not necessary. I think I'm going to go and execute the corp thing then. Long rest. This is a little bit contradictory to what I've said earlier. Is that I try to play it safe as I can, but once I get to level 5, I actually think that it's a good place to spice things up just a little bit. So I'm going to fight Kagha and the Shadow Druids. And from saving the guy below the Druid Grove in the passageway there, I think I'm in a better spot. I do want a couple of things though before I do this. I do want an undead summon. I want my imp. You can and you no matter if you play with the Pact of the Blade or Pact of the Tome or Pact of the I forget what the last one is with the demon. I mean, those all have different advantages that you can kind of capitalize on. But having that extra body down there in that fight is just phenomenal. Having a zombie, for instance, to just help you out with taking a hit, or maybe if you're really lucky, the zombie actually kills something, and then that's really good for you. So I definitely want a zombie, and it has to be a zombie. I don't want the skeleton, even if the skeleton is also very, very good. So summoning a little zombie here. Go. And then I think I'm ready for the fight. And probably I just need to make sure that I have all of the pre-buffs that I want for this. All right. So before executing the fight, I'm just quickly going to do a couple of things and explain why I'm doing it, and then explain what I have prepared, like character-wise, what the gear, what I'm equipping, why I'm equipping it, and what the idea in the sequence is going to be. So first of all, one of the problems in the fight is the first round, Kagha is very prone to cast a Moonbeam spell. The Moonbeam spell can deal with bad rolls like more than 30 damage. Which is very, very, very dangerous no matter who you're playing. So getting that initial 30 damage or 20 even damage from that Moonbeam is not something you want to do if you can avoid it. She's going to prioritize attacking at least 2 targets. And that means that if I go in there with my coterie and we begin the fight, and I am going to lose the initiative because of my poor dexterity score, that means that she's going to fry me in the first round, and my zombie and my imp. So that's a no-go. So I need to position these guys, and I have a couple of options. I can choose to try and provoke the Moonbeam. So for instance, if I say shovel is expendable, which is not like, that's not a, maybe not a bad take. I can put him next to Wrath, for instance. Or I can put him next to Findal, who's also going to be an ally in this fight. He's at, why is he at 27 HP? It's very odd. So I can kind of either put him there, or I can put him next to Wrath. And probably with, even though Findal is nice to have, with the 7 HP, I'm going to sacrifice him. I prefer to have Wrath in the fight. So I'm going to try and see if I can provoke the Moonbeam over there. We'll see. The zombie just needs to be, it's always on a low initiative, so, I mean, probably in here, I guess. And then I'll try to get him to come out, see if he can't make a difference. That's a little bit random, although no, I actually want him further down here, because the best case scenario in this fight for me with this setup is that I'm able to attack something successfully with the zombie and kill it. It's going to give me a major advantage. Okay, so that's the positioning, just spreading these guys out a little bit. Shovel next to Findal to see if I can provoke Kagha's Moonbeam on them, so that they die, but then I live. And then for the gear setup is pretty much standard, I think. A couple of pre-buff things here. Poison resistance is decent because I think some of these guys actually cast poison spells on you, so that can be valuable. The Misty Step amulet is going to, I need that ready. In this, oh, here it is. And the two Misty Step resources that I can use for free from Nia's Boots from the Grimforge, and the Amulet of Misty Step from one of the vendors in the Underdark. I can have those, and those are good to have to get kind of out of their reposition quickly. I can equip, and I can use the bonus action in the same round if I need to get away. So that's a kind of a valuable get out of free card, jail card here. And then don't benefit from the Boots of Stormy Clamor just yet. So there's really nothing else. And the bonus action is kind of okay on the booster speed for this, I think. I tried the Falar Louvre. It has, the Falar Louvre has has this very, very decent buff that gives you a damage rider. But as far as I can tell, it does not stack with the Cloud of Daggers, for instance. So even if I get close, I need to be very close, and Eldritch Blast, that's the only thing that's going to really make this work for me. So I'm not quite sure that I'm going to go with the Falar Louvre for this. It simply doesn't seem like it's good enough. Probably I'll see if I can't capture them in a Hunger of Hadar, I think. But let's get the show running. Yeah, the Hellrider Pride, along with the Amulet of Restoration, is beneficial to keeping Wrath alive for a couple of turns. I could use it strategically on Findal to keep him up, but I'm a little bit worried that it's not going to be possible to do anything really about that situation. Right. So I think I'm going to go. I'm going to cast a couple of spells before I hit the... I'm going to cast the jump spell. I'm going to cast the mirror image spell. I'm going to cast the fire shield spell. And then I'm going to cast the bless spell. And then I think I'm going to hit the... going to switch weapons. I just need to check one thing. I think the Shriek actually reduces the saving throws on Spell Sparkler is going to give me more damage, I think. Probably both are okay. So I'm going to do my short rest, put on the Spell Sparkler, and initiate the conversation. And then I'm going to... this is the option where you can... The second that there is a check for second that there is a check for Kagha here in this conversation after you bring her the letter, you can persuade her. But I'm going to go with option 3 and initiate combat. Rolling pretty low. Let's see. Snark strike, miss. All that is pretty much important. The first round can go really, really badly. And there's a moonbeam on silver. So now the... Alright. So they went for silver and they went for my zombie. So I can go and see if I can kill Loik this round to piggyback off of the zombie, or I could risk it for the biscuit. I can actually try to keep Findal up. I think the bonus action for this is okay here. But that means staying down in the pits a little bit longer. So because otherwise I would get out of dodge or get reposition and then cast the Hunger of Hadar, which I think is arguably stronger, but I could get... There are many options here, I think. How far can I jump? I think I can force some spell slots out of Kagha by trying to go into Nettie's room, and I think I'm going to do that and then spend my action attacking this guy. Do I want a crit here? Yes, I do. There we go. Because that leaves open the option of the zombie actually being able to kill this guy. If I'm lucky, I should probably have cast the bless spell so that the zombie was hit as well, but there's mud here. So a lot of these guys are going to try to hit me next turn, but going into Nettie's room is potentially going to add Nettie to the fight, which is great. So let's just see if we can't do that. If I can get Kagha to just stay put, that's what I want. Can't do that. Let's see if I can't frighten... I can't frighten this guy. This guy is frightened. Just quickly check. And attack rules. So that means... Let's see if that means anything. Damn it. It was worth a shot. That's going to leave open the zombie attack for one more round, which I'm just going to let that play out as best as it can, and then try to focus down all of them, probably. And then I'm going to see if I can't save Findal. Best case scenario, I would be able to hit Wrath as well, but that is not going to work here. I'm going to give Findal a fighting chance here. Ren has his turn, that's it. But I probably want to see if I cannot break Kagha's Moonbeam. That should be a priority here. Come on. There we go. Zombie up. This is just not bad, let me tell you right now. Wise? Okay. That was a good turn for Kagha right there. Okay. So Findal is still up, he's entangled, Wrath is doing the work, and Kagha is currently on her way to my zombie, which is okay. But I am going to just fight Olodon. I'm going to go out. If she hits me, that's fine. Don't mind. Now she's dead. And see, she still has a moonbeam, so I don't want to threaten her there. Probably. I'm just going to go a little bit into the room to have my options open. And now Nettie is in the fight, which I don't mind. She's actually pretty good in this fight, like surprisingly good. Let's see. What do we have a target? Yeah, the zombie's going to die anyway. So go zombie go. Now we're going to see if we can't force Kagha's moonbeam away. No? Yes. Good. I mean, this guy, if we can just, if you can just keep Findal alive, he's such a boon in this fight, I find. Quick pro tip here: if the chirping is getting to you and you decide to kill the bird just to get rid of the chirping, Nettie and Wrath are going to turn against you, and you'll be fighting everybody. So even if the chirping is really getting you down, don't do it. It's not worth it. And here we go.
2 steps at a time.
And Wrath died. Everybody died. Kagha died. Everybody died. Killing Kagha has the outside of... She has... It's possible to get these items, of course, at a later point in time where you can kill Kagha when she's all alone. But killing Kagha gives you access to the Broodmother's Revenge, which for a lot of classes is really good. I can't use it for anything, so I'm sending it back to camp. But 1d6 of added poison damage to every attack that you do is so good on all weapons. But killing Kagha gives you 150 XP, so that's already pretty good. Right, so I'm going to just quickly loot Wrath. And I actually forget if it gives you any XP to explore the hidden treasure chamber, but I'm going to give it a go real quick before proceeding to fight the harpies. So I'm going to go here and put in the rune of the wolf. There we go. And activate all of the pedestals here. They're red because I didn't free Halsin yet. 10 XP. Or rather protected the growth. This is meant as a kind of a reward. Okay, there is no bonus XP for this. But lots of scrolls and potions and oh my god. Good stuff. Alright. Let us go and fight the harpies. Actually, I'm a little bit unsure if I do need the long rest, because the way that one of the reasons why I found that Wyll is in a very, very strong position to just go down to fight the harpies at level 5 is because he has access to both the armor of Agathis, where they kill themselves, and he has access to the fire shield. And the fire shield is just the combination of those two makes you want them to hit you. They just kill themselves. You can even add on top of that the Flar Louvre Shriek, and that's just, it's amazing. It's beautiful. So probably I want that before I do that. So I'm just going to go and spend my resources fighting things other places. Oh wait, I need to, of course, resolve the whole reason for doing the Kagha, which is to steal the idol of Sylvanus. Because now the ritual has gone away. Everybody's informed that it was a bad decision. It was masterminded by the shadow druids, and now we are all better for it and more clever, or sorry, more... Yeah, so the way that I do it is I go here basically and I click the idol, and then I actually don't know if you can just attack them. I prefer not to. And then I click the idol again, and now we have combat. You wait for your initiative, you click the idol. You can do it in whatever order you like. You jump down, and I cast invisibility on myself. Wait, that's the spell. Didn't I also equip the ring? Yes. Yes, I did. Boing. And then I move away. And then I wait for the turn. And there are a number of ways of stealing the idol. You can also steal the idol before fighting Kagha. Like, you can do it in so many ways. But doing it this way feels very easy, very safe, which I prefer in this case. And now they don't like me. That sucks. Okay, and then I have the idol, which I'm going to go and take to Maul in the concealed hatch. And this just gives you access to one of the best rings in the game.
A word, if I may.
I had a feeling you...
The idol is yours. And the ring of protection, which I have a dire need for, because everything is just not very good with Wyll's sustain at the moment. Alright, so I'm going to port to the Blighted Village. And then I'm just going to clean up for a little bit. Just quickly check. Beginning with the gnolls. And when fighting the gnolls, I find that one of the maybe most important things, at least in my opinion, is that you make sure that they pop out of their the bloated hyenas, giving them a chance to explode and reveal gnolls that spawn within them is going to give you extra experience points. I'm just going to show it in a bit. Don't need anything. I'm pretty happy with this as is. So I'm just going to run and aggro them actually, and then just need to get my OCD out of the way here real quick. Alrighty. Okay. Is there anything you want to precast here? No, not really. Not really. Just gonna go in here. So I can kill this, but I don't think I want to actually. I think I'm going to step back and watch the show. And then that's 20 XP. This hyena is going to run to get more friends, and at this point that's when I want to just do an instantaneously tactical retreat, since I can just pull the fight a little bit back here. Doing this I think is a pretty good idea, because it's just this guy goes and grabs reinforcements, and if they come, it's not really killing them is not as easy, I'd say, than doing it the other way. But I could maybe try and see if I could kill it. That would be great. Okay, that works. That is better. Then we go back. And then I want to leave the other hyena corpses, basically. They're going to explode in one turn. Okay, see, that's actually not half bad. Free labor is always great. Just going to keep my zombie alive for a moment longer. Why not? These zombies are just so great for like no resources.
No time to waste.
So on every one of these of hyenas, you get 20 XP for letting them explode, and then you can proceed to kill each of the newborn gnolls for 40 XP. So that totals 220 XP, I think, 240 XP, which is, I mean, that's more than if you just kill them straight away. It's only 80 approximately, maybe slightly more, but like it's a lot of XP if you just do it that way. And normally collecting the hyena ears from these guys is just one of the greatest things if you have access, if you use the speed potions, because you just get so much value right here. So that brings a little bit of a tear to my eye, but I just sell the whole thing. Okay.
Easy enough.
And these guys are normally really horrifying, but the Hunger of Hadar makes short work of their power. And the critical miss, which means that at least this guy gets to play a little bit, for a little bit. But I think, I am going to give him a little punch if I can. No? Yes. There we go. And now he's going to shoot the zombie. I'm going to shoot this twice. The hunters are just so terrifying. But the Hunger of Hadar control Hunger of Hadar control spell just basically single-handedly solves so many things for the warlock at this point. And I mean, you can play around it. You can do whatever you want and try something else. I think the fireball is also a viable option if you want to not just use that spell. Also, the fireball is not concentration, so that opens up a couple of other options. You could even do Hunger of Hada and Fireball at the same time. But since at this point I just need to clean up Act 1, I think it's okay. So I'm going to go and do the Flind encounter as well. And the thing that you want to make sure that you have when going into the Flind encounter is the illithid persuasion, which I have not found a way to determine if you've used it or not, but if you inspect Wyll, at least you can see it as part of his examination shows that Wyll already has this, so I know that I have it available because I just made a long rest. But in situations where it's not fully certain, then I don't know how to check for that with certainty, because it doesn't show up in the notable features. It doesn't show up in here. Only shows up if I examine Wyll. Let's see. Alright, so the armor of Act is here. And then short rest. And actually, since I don't have all my resources, I still feel confident that this is going to be okay. I'm going to cast the jump spell. I actually do have my Pearl Power Amulet here, so I can actually do another spell. Let me just check real quick what I want. Hellrider's Pride are not doing anything for me, but I don't have anything else. These guys like acid, so that's not going to... I don't know if the charm is, if the Fang of Yonu, if the charm spell that they do is actually... We can equip it, see what happens. And then I'm going to cast this one. And then get my level 3 spell back. Then I think that is it. Actually... Course, Misty Step Amulet, which is always nice, and then I want to jump in, I think, to this location and start the encounter. So the second that the Flind arrives within chatting distance, she's going to initiate the conversation. And if you have the illithid potential power, you can choose either option, and that gives different outcomes. I choose number 2 because that means that I'm going to turn her against her friends. Don't need the concentration for this. Oh, sorry, yeah. So now the fight proceeds. I already get all of the experience points. The 315 experience points, I think, covers all of the gnolls as well as the Flind. So in principle, I could just flee the battle and not come back, which is definitely an option. I think I'm going to fight them anyway at this point. And it also opens up to more XP if you get to kill the humans in the cave as well. So I am last in initiative, which means that if I'm really fortunate, I'm going to get some stuff raining on me now. There we are. So in my opinion, the trick to this fight is because I don't think that there's a very high chance that the Flind is ever going to come out of this victorious on her own. But the trick, one of the tricks to this is to, because there are two elements in this fight. If as long as she's on your side, if she's not on your side, that's another story. But there's two things to this fight. The Null Fang of Yinogu are very, very dangerous. The soul offering stuff that they do is crippling. If you get that on you, you cannot jump, for instance. So that's one problem. But the bigger problem, obviously, is the Null Hunters that have that 2 turns until they get the Seething Fury, which will enable their multi-attack, which will, I mean, this will kill me for sure. If I'm being hit by a barrage, I can easily die. Easily. Right. So I think the trick is to focus on 1 or 2 hunters as soon as possible to see if you can't kill them. And the Cloud of Daggers, for instance, is going to do that just fine. So I think that's going to be worth it. I'm going to cast it over here. Already high rolls on the daggers. And then I'm going to jump away. I think this is good enough. Just go straight for the animals. Wow. Okay, so the 2 hunters are down, which is good for us, because then the rest of the fight is much less scary. And Flind is still tanking some. So at this point, I want to see if I can't get probably just want to do another one right here. Even though it hits the Flind, that's fine because I want her to die. Going to jump up here. And then I don't mind if the archer, if the hunter decides to go for me, that's fine. Probably with the Cloud of Daggers, this can easily be done earlier than level 5. So it's really a preference, I guess. And so now he's coming out. And at this point, going through the dialogue with the 1 mash, and then
it's a pretty bit of frippery that'll sit on a mantle
going
gathering
to intimidate him, and then I'm going to kill him.
Makes the risk worthwhile. If I lose that cargo, my people.
We go.
Another parasite. Collect it. It might be useful.
All right. Dunsies. And I'm not really full looting any of these places because I don't need the gold. So a lot of the stuff that would normally be very interesting to loot, I'm not just going to leave behind. Okay. So that cleans out the gnolls. Let's see. And then I think we're going to go to the... Did I collect the waypoint? I didn't collect the waypoint. Okay.
This better be good.
That's the... I guess that's the one check that I probably should have done earlier on, is the Zhentarim check. Because it is a check still, and I want to make that check.
The ox tenses.
This is another check that I could also have made,
Direction.
which is 50 experience points for dealing with a cow.
Side twitches, every muscle primed to bolt. He's
There we go.
terrified. The ox
That's a nice check to complete. 50 experience points for persuading the cow not to fight us. So, I'm going to just hop in there. Destroy his ass. He normally fights you. Anyway, so jumping in, misty stepping in, whatever. 40 extra XP straight off the bat. Or you can fight him down here by the Zhentarim if you want. But I like to execute him immediately. If you don't get the key off this guy, you can always go and collect it from the wooden crate at the bottom here. Oh, oops. Oh, there we go.
What have we here?
That's far enough. What's your business down here?
And so the conversation here is, there are various options here. Talking to the two Zhentarims by the Flint Cave gives you the option to bypass this in a different way, which of course is great. But other than that, there's a check here to fix
That
this.
just tells me you've met my people. Not
There we go, 100 XP. Now we're friends. I'm going to go down there. Then I am going to give her the chest. But the order here is also important. I think you want to go... Actually, I do want to do my long rest real quick. But going to Ceres first to give her the chest. And then going to the merchant to purchase whatever items you need. The Titan string bow or anything else. Interest. And then proceed to go and kill her afterwards. But it needs to be done in one sitting, because if you don't do it in one sitting, the chest is going to disappear. If you wanted the chest for anything, that's a pretty important bit to keep in mind. Just quickly check if there's anything I need. No, not really. I think I'm good. So I'm going to buff, of course, after the long rest. And initiate conversation. Then we give her the chest that she wants.
our trader can show you some.
She's very happy. Then we get XP, and then we go talk to Brem down here.
Well, if you have the gold, he needs protection. And if it's... Are you looking to buy him? I'm open
Which-
to offers, mate.
that was a bit of a mistake. Of course, you want to try to get the artist for free. But paying a little bit of gold, I guess, is also okay.
Something I can help you with?
Let's go and see.
Well, you should at least know what you... But
You recall them?
right. But... Say, no.
Don't know if there's any kind of value to be gained from giving him gold. I'm a very cheap person, so I don't give him anything, but...
Something I can help you? Of course. Got some interesting stock for a friend of the family.
Gloves of Thievery here. I want those. I don't need the Titan String Bow, so... can keep that. And then I'm going to go and execute them. Right. So you can do this in a number of ways. What I suggest is that you push her. Well, you dip your weapon like so. And then you push her. And then you shoot any of the oil / any of the smoke powder barrels. This will set off everything and kill everybody in the process, hopefully. So that is what we're going to attempt here. Need to redip, because it's only 3 turns. And then the combat ensues. You need to be very quick. That's the issue with a low initiative. So I'm not going to get all of them. I'm going to have a little bit of company. Now it's our turn, so we're going to shoot the smoke powder barrel here, I think. Right. Killing everybody but the guy over here. Alright, and then simply head down there. To collect all the loot. But that also means I'm going to go into the back of the cave to fight the other guys. Just to have that out of the way. This is basically just cleaning up XP in Act 1 at this point. Getting to level 5 with a warlock, you're very, very strong. So the major fights ahead with the Minthara, with Droraxlin, with and with a couple of the other bosses are not going to be as bad at level 5, as long as you are careful. And there, the chest, the Caravan Strong box is available if you kill her straight off the bat. If you long rest or something else after giving it to her, it's going to disappear. And if you like that observer, you definitely want to do it this way. Right, let's go kill the others. There's a very big difference between the difficulty of the encounters in Act 1, the Zhentarim being some of the weakest opponents you'll find in the game, and the goblins maybe being some of the strongest, relatively speaking, if you're not careful. Let's see if we can't. There's a little bit of a torch here that I want to utilize. If I shoot this wooden support, it should set off the oil below, and that is going to be a nice way to start the fight, I think. You seem a little bit upset, but not all that angry. Did they die, or did they not die? No. The oil barrel killed Isbeth, but no experience because it was the oil barrel. So that's not too good. Okay. Okay. I mean, there is a potential to die. The proximity mines can throw you into the river. Different things can happen. And so I guess Larian had an idea that they wanted to make this a very special kind of arena to fight, which it could have been, I guess, if they just had given the Zhentarim some more love. And after killing these guys, I just loot them for their keys and go to full loot the treasury stuff that they have going, because they do have a lot of gold, which is nice to just get rid of that bit as soon as possible. Just get a bit of gold so you're good for everything that you want to buy.
What's this now? Could come in handy. Just a peek.
Alright, and the final bit here is that down here with the there's a hidden wall down here. So going into this room I think is probably fine, but taking the elevator down is going to trigger some exploration XP that I want to save for a little bit later, because that scales a little bit with my level. So that bit is going to be saved. Then I'll kill the goblins here. And I just sent everything to camp. Oh, I went almost into the ogre place. That definitely wasn't so well thought out. Let me just get out of there as quickly as my legs can carry me.
Coming through.
Going to take my chance with a goblin warrior here, even though he is kind of dangerous. Oh yeah. Probably I should kill the ogres. I never kill the ogres normally. I deal with them with a check, but since I'm not going to consume the ogre horn, I need to kill them to get the crown that I want. So let me just go and see what needs to happen for that too. think it's possible to deal with these guys from the rafters. So let me just famous last words here, but let's see. This is actually not an action. This is a free action to summon the familiar. What the hell? Okay. Okay then. Oh, and I rolled well on the initiative, which I'm very pleased with. See if he can actually hit me with a stone. He probably can. No, he can't. Okay, you can come up. Was that just a very poor position? Oh yeah, it's a... okay. mean, I can give him a fair chance to hit me. Okay, so Fank was crushed by shovel. Alright, nice. The only thing about these guys is that the stones that they throw tend to do a bit of a knockback, which can be a little bit problematic. And here we go. Crown. Another warhorn that we can sell, which is okay. And then the intellect headband. And let's kill the last goblins. Let's see what we have left of random cleanup jobs. Nothing much. Could go and kill the red caps down here, but that is not super duper necessary. Kill the brains real quick. Dipping my bow in fire here, so that if I was clever enough to crouch, I could go and activate the Nautiloid tank for extra damage with fire spells, but I forgot to do that, so. Alright, and everything else is on hold for now, so I think it is time to go and kill some goblins. Right. So the process of clearing the Goblin Camp, I think, it's not necessarily very difficult if you know exactly what to do, but a lot of things can happen that's going to really sour the process up for you if you don't know exactly what kind of things that can happen, because the permanent aggro on the goblins happens if they bang the drums, so that needs to kind of not happen. And there is a couple of things that I want to do before heading into that, which is it's going to make this guy upset. Which is just so weird. Guess we can just get the party started in a way. Just quickly see. Problem is I do get a bit of XP from this interaction, which I want to do.
As the symbol glows, power.
But get or I'll wipe that nasty look right off. What was that?
I want to drop to my knees,
That's more like it.
and then I want to see if I can't steal the ring here. I can't, so now we have combat.
As your
With Crusher and his friends. Everybody else are going to come and watch. So as long as I don't kill Crusher, bring him to low HP, the fight is going to be over. But this is a showcase of how bad it gets with the goblins really quick if you are a little bit unfortunate. So let's see what happens here. Thing is, I probably just want to kind of see if I can't reset the fight here. But I am going to potentially kill a goblin too. I think killing one goblin is going to set off all of them. Oh, he falls to his knees. Yes, yes, yes. And so he leaves, you get a bit of XP. And then he goes to a different location where I'm going to fight him for... his ring. But before doing that, I remember Shadowheart being out here, and she needs to die ASAP. Because she's going to join the goblins if I try to kill Crusher here. Then she's going to give us the artifact that she carries, which is fine. And here he comes. So you can push him, but I don't want to do that because I want his ring. So I want to kill him, essentially. Which is very tricky when the neutral targets keep on healing here. And if you... And he died. And he has the Crusher ring, which we like. So we're going to equip that straight away. Alright, so I think killing the goblins here, I'm going to start by going to... Some of the camps are not giving any XP. The camp up here by the entrance is not giving any experience points at this point, so I could kill them, but at this point, since I've passed the dialogue check, I'm just going to leave them there. These guys I can kill, which I will.
Surprises.
and the additional illithid power, I think I'm going to beeline for the Shield of Thralls. It's just a very strong power here. Okay, so these guys are now just hanging out, which means I can just go ahead and kill them, I guess. Hello, Meriden. Hello, say okay. How was the stream? How far did you get? Last I saw you were in Act 3 killing things. So that's pretty good. I'm just currently casually killing some goblins before getting ready for the Grove Raid. Which I probably won't do this stream, but probably next time. Ooh. That sounds like a success. I'm going to rewatch the Raphael fight when I get time. How it is to do that, how it feels like doing that with 2 players. I mean, even it's always interesting, right? Because everything can happen. It's a very, very dangerous fight. Big Rabbit is alive. I have no idea what Big Rabbit is, but no, that's the interesting thing actually. I think that belongs to a whole different conversation. Like, you know, because I've been playing this way for like forever, and the consumables that you take for granted, they obviously are very strong, but once you don't have them and you kind of work around it, yeah, you're just able to do more things that you thought was possible without the help of those resources. It's kind of interesting. Sorry, Crypto. Yeah, it changes the way you build your character. It changes loads and loads and loads of things. And that's of course, but like on the positive side is what I was going to say is that when you use a bonus action to heal your character, for instance, that's also an action, or an action to throw a potion, for instance. That's also an action you take away from something else. So if you channel all of your power basically into offense, then sometimes you don't need the defense, if that makes sense. So that's my experience at least, and that's so even though that some things can become like a DPS race, which it will, of course, then the knowledge of the game really carries you so far. No. And it's a whole different way of playing. Like I have trouble, like when in our multiplayer game, for instance, when I need to think about okay, I have all these potions and all these scrolls available. You know, how do I kind of make good use of these? I'm actually really bad at that. So it's also like knowing what resources you have available, potions and scrolls included, and how to use those in a good way is also something that is a knowledge based thing. But yeah, I'm happy that you get to try it, just to get your opinion on it. Then we can always kind of discuss it a little bit later on. it does make the gameplay a little bit more what do you call it, a bit more boring, you could say. I mean, because since I don't have all of these options, it's going to be more or less the same things that I do every time to solve the encounters, which is, I guess, a little bit boring in a way. But welcome everybody. I'm hardcore runs playing with on occasion with Squiz Meriden and Seuke, and the run that I'm currently doing is a solo run with no consumables. That means no scrolls, no potions, or anything outside of a few select quest items. I play the game just with the character as is, no monoclass, no barrelmancy, no respeccing. It's a very bare-bone experience, but I do have access to all of the items in the game, so that does make, of course, quite a bit of difference. And it also means I have no restrictions on resting. Long resting and short resting is part of the... Wow, that guy moved far. Why did he even move? He got through the barricades. Oh, that's because I destroyed the barricades. How kind of me. Okay. How do I want to deal with this guy even? I really don't want to deal with him. Let's just try, just for one turn, to see if we can pull him a little bit back. I think it's more like, for me, it's more a question of is it possible to do it? Because if you take away some of the bonuses of what you can do, for instance, with some of the jump potions and the fly potions and those kinds of things, is it even possible to do it? And my opinion is that it is possible to do, but it's also a question about like, some things just become very, very difficult when you don't have any ways of kind of any tools that you can pull out. And I last time I was playing the warlock at Grim, he died because I simply ran out of jump, basically. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at your videos, guys. When I get the chance, I'm going to be looking at some of the big encounters to see how that plays out for you. I'm very curious to see how you solve those. Assuming you destroy them, but like, I would love to see how you do so. So I'm looking very much forward to that bit. Cleaning up things on the warlock is very easy.
rested for a
See you, say okay. Thanks a bunch for the raid. Let's see if there's anything else that I need to do here. I think I've killed most goblins outside.
Just a peek. Finders keepers.
So the idea is to just kill all of the goblins here outside and then prepare to do the inside killing. And then probably that is all I have time for right now. Let's see. Okay.
as the symbol glows.
What in the world is going on here? I am clueless. Oh no! That was my action. And my movement speed. Come on already. The interactions of these trash mobs is just incredible. Okay. I think this is the last guy.
Best foot forward.
And then we move in and just do the cleanup. The only thing I need to be wary of is the goblin drums, because I really don't want to sound those. Very important to me, because then I can't get Minthara to attack, to join the raid, which I very much want her to do. And there is a drum right here. think I can actually destroy the drum from here, and then they'll come for me. I just wait for the patrol to move by. There are 2 drums in the main chamber here. One I already destroyed, is on the other side of the room, and then this one, which are drums that these goblins are going to go for. We move away here. So she's just a little bit annoyed. She's looking a little bit for the culprit. And now this guy is going to come for me. I just don't want them to chain pull the whole thing. No. What? Probably doing a long rest before this makes sense. I mean, I just don't want to go with no resources at all. Rebuffing mage armor and armor of Agathis. Let's see. No? Okay then. Probably. I'm just going to go and send... Oh, wait. No. I got some minor detail before I do the grove raid, and that is that I need to go and save Mercon down by the harpies. So just before I want the grove raid to commence, I want to just quickly get as much XP as I can on and potential inspiration points from this. So saving Mercon from the harpy attack actually gives me an inspiration. And doing this at level 4 I think is perfectly fine with the fire shield spell and the armor of Agathis. I think it's very doable. At level 5 obviously everything becomes easier. Thank you. Yeah. I don't take great pride in killing Karlach either, and welcome someone. But yeah, it's too good. It's too good for the early game. It's just so good. Extra armor class, fire shield, which is a level 4 spell, like it's so good. Okay. Just wanna head in there, I think. Actually, I'm going to equip the Ring of Mind Shielding. I don't really need the armor class because I actually want to get hit. We're going to cast the jump spell and then the fire shield here. And then it doesn't really matter what else. I'm just going to be using my spell slots to refresh the armor of Agathis when I get the chance. I think this is fine. I'm going to use the Misty Step to get down there. Go. Yeah. But it's a weird thing, the second that I tried the solo runs the first time, yeah, I was dying a whole lot and like having to learn all of the Act 1 encounters, for instance, is a real bitch, but once you get a bit into it, it feels like sometimes it's even easier than having a full party. Some encounters are just more easy to calculate and predict if you don't have 4 characters running around. But yeah, obviously it's of course there's a lot more risk involved for sure. So I'm not going to explore right down here.
Are they gone?
No.
Okay, and then Mercon is below the water, going back. And right down here is the exploration XP that I'm going to save, I think, until level 6, and then go and get that. Okay, going back to the Goblin Camp. It's not ready. Yeah, the farther you get, the worse it is. Obviously, if you die to Orin, that's really horrible. Like, you have to go through all that and then get back to Orin, and then she's going to be there staring you in the eye, and you just don't know what's going to happen this time around. So, like, some of the major roadblocks, the roadblocks kind of change. I think for me in the early game, the roadblocks would be, I think Minthara would probably be one of the major roadblocks. Even Drawraxlin feels like a major roadblock. Some of the encounters, like the Emerald Grove raid, felt like impossible to do. So many things in the early game, and much of it is knowledge based. All right. So I'm going to talk to Minthara, and then I'm going to get her to, and then I'm going to make her attack the grove. It shall be so. And so the only thing that I really need to do at this point, I mean, there are a couple of goblins that she chooses to bring. So generally, you want to clear out the whole of the Goblin Camp, basically, because this guy is going to go, and I think he's going to go and grab at least these 3. And also the others from in here, I think. And what happens is that they respawn in a way, so you get to kill them twice. You can kill them here, and then they also participate in the Grove raid, so you can get that extra XP, really milking it by doing it that way. But the only thing that I want to do before I want to go in to do that Grove raid at this point, it's 100 XP maybe that I'm missing out on or something, so it's okay, is to go and save Halsin. And then I think I have to conclude the stream for today. And then next time I will do the Grove raid. All right. Hello, Halsin.
As the symbol glows, power courses.
I think most of this is like it's most of the stuff that people doing solo runs is trying to avoid getting hit too often, avoiding instant death mechanics, that kind of thing. I think that's probably the most important thing. When you have a 4-player party, am I going to take another hit? I am. When you're playing with a 4-player party, you can't avoid taking damage, right? Your characters take damage, and everything is just like, it can be a bit of a shit show, I guess. But with the solo character, either you die because you missed something and you made a bad judgment or something, but otherwise you kind of know where you know where the monsters are. They're going to go for you, and I mean, you can kind of direct the battle so you can kite, and so it all depends on what kind of a challenge you want to run. Like if you want to just do solo with all everything that you have access to. It's a very good idea to just stack up on stuff that keeps you alive, like healing potions and everything else from the vendors. Even make sure to revisit the vendors after long rests, all that stuff. I think I'm going to get company in a moment.
No time to waste.
One thing I think that's really sad about the idea of the solo run is that the whole thing about different classes complementing each other, the classical tank, healing, DPS, for instance, goes away, and a lot of the feeling of playing like an RPG with a full party goes away. So that's kind of, I guess, a big downside, I'd say, to this. But outside of that, having fewer characters to worry about is, for me, great. Like, not having to equip 4 characters, having to worry about how to make 4 characters work is kind of okay, actually. Speaking of which, what am I doing here? I think the guards outside were taking to join the raid because they've received no reinforcements from the kids running out. So I'm assuming that they also left for the raid. So that's roughly 6 goblins that I let go, which is okay. But murder hoboing the entire Goblin Camp is optimal in terms of getting XP, of course. Alright, and I just tell him that he needs to go to the grove. And then I just get out of this conversation as quickly as I can.
I cannot allow these butchers to threaten Kagha. You must get ahead of them. Muster the defenses.
And then, yes, he disappears. Grabbing Halsin here, for instance, as a companion to help you out with clearing the goblins is very, very, very advisable if you feel like it's a bit too dangerous. Halsin is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic companion to have for this, and so he can help you out with call lightning spells and whatnot. Absolutely fantastic. Alright. Yes, let's get out of here. So the idea is to empty out these resources, and then once those resources are spent, I'm ready to defend the grove. All of the goblins here have gone, so let's see how many goblins are even left inside of the sanctum. These guys are still here. Yeah, exactly. He's not too happy about this, but I already have his blessing, so at this point, I'm just going to kill him.
Actions.
Go. And the murder hobo aspect, I think, is maybe for me one of the more difficult pills to swallow. I don't think it's particularly funny. If I could just play the game like I would in a normal casual setting, just going from one place to another, solving quests and whatnot, I think that would be more fun for me, because this is basically like XP farming, to be able to kill, to be able to get to a certain level so that I'm able to do some of the more difficult stuff. But that is part of the run, unfortunately, for me at least. But
Checking things out.
stop it.
Sure, why not?
And then I just need to kill the last one. Checking the final room up here. I'm not going to deal with raw Raxlin just now. It's not necessary. I prefer to do that when I'm fully rested. So I'm just going to kill the last bits of goblins here, just to have that out of the way. I think the goblins in here. Yeah, they're present. Yeah.
Attacked someone.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun with the goblins in here for sure.
Heading out.
All right. I think that is it. Oh, we have two goblins. I think these goblins are actually unfortunately potentially tied to what's going on in the room back there, which I do not want to aggro just yet. I do want to get the spiders on board, but everything can wait at this point. I think I'm all done here. Yep. Yeah. You had a lot of fun with those goblins, Ginger, for sure. Right. So I think actually there's nothing holding me from doing the Grove Raid, which I will do next time I have time to stream. So everything else at this point is can wait. Okie dokie. So once you talk to Minthara and you ask Minthara to raid the Grove, she's going to do that on the following day, which is basically means that you have to make sure that once you get to that following day, then you are ready to fight her. So asking her to go to the grove a little bit prematurely, I think, can be pretty dangerous in a solo run. You want to be sure that you're ready to fight her. If you're up for the task of doing the grove raid is very, very dangerous, very, very hard fight. If you don't know exactly what your priorities are at what time. And so for Wyll here, it can potentially be okay, but can also be slightly dangerous, which
Dog wags his tail.
I'll talk about next time I'm streaming.
He gives in, and Seren scratches tongue. Lol.
So I'm just going to set it up. Now the barrels, the concealed oil barrels are in place. That's what we want to see. So I'm just going to go into my little necromancer chamber here and raise a monster to help me out in the coming battle. That can basically both be a skeleton and a zombie. Both works. The zombies are very hard to optimize in my experience in the Grove Raid because the spiders that you're fighting have a very high AC, so it's not even... I probably always prefer the skeleton for this. Probably like one thing that I should actually do before triggering this fight, or as a setup to this fight, is to go and collect the buff. So I'm just going to untangle the companions here, the followers, up to the Blighted Village. Just need to get out of the red danger zone here and go to the Blighted Village. And then collect the buff from the hag, because then I have 10 more hit points to deal with, which I think is nice for this particular fight. And also the buffs that you can get from the hag, well, do not stack with the Shield of Thralls, so there's that as well. And since the red caps are very angry with me already, I'm going to just go around here and jump down by the frog using my featherfall boots. And then sneak up here. You just don't want to do this before the long rest that you are going to do to fight in the Grove defense, because then, yeah, then you're going to get a debuff. The 10 hit points right now, they're solid, but if you long rest, you get a debuff. That's not a lot of fun. Okay, Blighted Village. And grabbing them. And then I think I'm ready for that fight afterwards. So next time when I'm going to do this, I will be talking about what my strategy is and what the reasoning for doing the things that I plan on doing is. And then I'll execute the fights. But for now, I'm going to save the game here and say thank you for watching, and thank you for everybody sticking around. If you want to watch this content and know when I'm online, feel free to follow me if you want. But other than that, I'll be probably streaming with Ginger Bananas and Swiss Meriden and Say Okay, I think next week probably. But thank you for watching, and have a good one. And then let's see if I can't have the privilege of sending you to somebody else. Nobody is playing Baldur's Gate at the moment that I know of, at least. So that's not going to happen. So thank you a lot for the stream, or for watching the stream. Catch you later. Goodbye.